All right, let's talk about one of the most misunderstood and honestly, coolest topics in tech, hacking. If you've ever been curious about what it really takes to learn these skills, not the movie stuff, but the real deal, then you're in the right place. We're going to break down the entire journey, from day one all the way to a potential career.
But first, just take a second and think about that word hacking. What pops into your head? Is it some shadowy figure in a hoodie? A waterfall of green code on a black screen? You know what I'm talking about. For a lot of us, our idea of hacking is straight out of Hollywood.
And that right there, that's the huge gap between fiction and reality. On one side, you've got the movie hacker, this lone wolf causing chaos. But on the other side, you have the ethical hacker. Think of them as a professional problem solver, a digital detective. They use their skills to find the weak spots so they can be fixed. They're the good guys.
So here's our game plan. We've broken this down into a 5-step journey. We'll start with what ethical hacking even is, then we'll hit the hacker's playground where learning is actually fun. After that, it's into the digital academy to build some serious skills, then we'll see how you turn those skills into a career, and finally, we'll figure out what your first step should be.
All right, first up, what is ethical hacking? Let's get right to the heart of it, because it's more than just a hoodie. You know, it really all boils down to one single word: permission. Ethical hacking is basically testing a system's defenses for the people who own it. The goal isn't to cause damage, no way. The goal is to find the cracks in the wall so the builders can come back and patch them up, making everything safer for everyone. It's hacking with a purpose.
Okay, let's move on to the next stop on our journey, the hacker's playground. And I'm telling you, this is where the real fun begins. The community has figured out this absolutely brilliant way to make learning some really complex stuff feel like you're just playing a game.
So instead of these dry, totally boring textbooks, the community is just bursting with creativity. I mean, you've got companies like CounterHack building these amazing challenges around super fun themes, so you might be learning critical skills by figuring out how the Grinch hacked Christmas.
Or maybe you're solving puzzles inside Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Hackery.
Or you could even be facing off against The Empire Hacks Back. This whole playful pop culture vibe makes learning so much more engaging. It just kind of strips away all the intimidation.
Now, a lot of these challenges are what's called a Capture the Flag competition, or CTF for short. The way the folks at Pico CTF from Carnegie Mellon put it, it just gamifies the whole learning process. You solve a puzzle, you find a hidden piece of text, that's the flag, and you score points. It's this awesome hands-on way to really test what you know.
So, where can you go to start playing? Well, there are some incredible free resources out there. Pico CTF is a fantastic starting point from a top university. Hacker 101 gives you free video classes to go along with their CTFs. And Hack This site, man, they've been a learning community since way back in 2003.
So you've had some fun in the playground, you've captured a few flags. What's next? Well, you graduate to the Digital Academy and Labs. This is where the games start to turn into a more structured way of building a seriously powerful skill set.
And platforms like Over the Wire, they don't just leave you guessing. They lay out a super clear path. You can start with their Bandit game to get your Linux command line skills down. And from there, you kind of choose your own adventure. Go down the web security path with NotToss or cryptography with Krypton. It walks you through step by step.
And the amount of resources out there, it's just incredible. Think of this as your personal digital library and laboratory. Portswigger's Web Security Academy is pretty much the gold standard for web hacking. Pentester Lab lets you mess with actual real-world vulnerabilities. And then you have Hack the Box and VulnHub, which are these huge libraries of machines you can practice on, all safely and legally.
And here's the best part. You are not doing this alone. Not even close. On platforms like Cybrary, we're talking about communities of over 3 million learners. That is a massive network of people to learn with, get help from, and connect with.
And you know, these platforms have a real human impact. Just listen to this from a student named Jamal. Cybrary has given me a greater reason to pursue my heart's desire at all cost. See, this isn't just about learning code. For a lot of people, it's about finding a real passion and a purpose.
And what if you want to go really deep, like university-level deep? Well, there are even free college-level courses out there. A great example is Max Kirsten's Binary Analysis course. It takes you all the way from the absolute basics of how computers work to analyzing complex malware, and it's all using free tools.
Okay, so you've played the games, you've hit the books in the Digital Academy. What's it all for? Well, all this learning builds towards something real. This next part is about how you take those skills and forge them into a professional career.
This is where passion turns into a paycheck.
The really great thing is, there's a clear ladder you can climb. Organizations like the EC Council have it all mapped out, and it starts at a level that requires zero prior experience. You can get an entry-level certification like the Certified Cybersecurity Technician, or CCT, which proves to employers you've got the solid base they're looking for.
And that climb does not stop there, not by a long shot. From that foundation, you can get core certifications like the famous Certified Ethical Hacker, or specialize in things like penetration testing, which is literally getting paid to break into things legally. And from there, you can climb all the way up to being a Chief Information Security Officer, a CISO, who's in charge of a whole company's security strategy. The potential is just enormous.
And hey, if the self-taught route isn't really your style, the traditional academic path is a super powerful option too. Through platforms like edX, you can take cybersecurity courses and even get full degrees from world-class schools like Harvard and MIT, all from your own home.
Which brings us to the big finale here. What's your first step? We've laid out the entire map. The journey can literally start right now.
So let's just recap that three-stage path real quick. Start on the playground, get hooked with fun challenges. Then graduate to the academy to build deep, practical skills in those hands-on labs. And finally, forge that expertise into a real career with certifications that prove what you can do. Look, the path is totally laid out. The resources are there, so many of them are free, and the community is waiting. So the only question left is the most important one. Now that you know the way, how will you use these skills? How will you protect and defend and help build a safer world for all of us? The first step is yours to take.